Alrighty then, welcome back to the channel. It's PlethoraMoons. In this video, we're going to talk about 8 top cybersecurity threats to businesses in the year 2023 and beyond. Alright guys, so make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. Let's jump into it. So first, what is a cybersecurity? What is it? Cybersecurity is, according to Wikipedia in the most basic form, the protection of computer systems from theft or damage to their hardware, software, or electronic data, as well as from disruption or misdirection of services that they provide. In today's world, cybersecurity is a part of life. With virtually everything connected online, cybersecurity has never been more critical. Sadly, it is still common to hear stories about data breaches. It is not uncommon to read stories of banks, credit card companies, online retailers, phone companies, and other companies having their systems breached and customers' data stolen. Thankfully, there are many companies actively developing better cybersecurity programs. These will be Microsoft, Apple, and Google are constantly updating the software used on computers, servers, tablets, phones, and other devices. Governments are also recognizing the investment they need to make to protect their servers and classified data. In 2019, the U.S. government expected to pay around $15 billion to protect this data. The Department of Defense and Homeland Security use up the majority of this budget. Alright, so threat number 1 is phishing. Phishing is one of the most common cyber attacks due to the high level of interaction humans have on electronic communication. Straight edge technology sees it becoming even more of a threat as emails and instant messaging increase in the business world. Why does this rise in electronic communication increase the threat of phishing? Because office employees receive hundreds of emails and electronic messages every day. Towards the end of the workday, when we get tired, we become susceptible to making bad decisions. Attackers know this, and some choose this time of the day to bombard employees with fake emails and social media accounts. After all, a hacker only needs one employee to make a mistake to destroy a business's integrity. Through a phishing scam, hackers gain access to 3 of the employees' email accounts. The ensuing investigation determined that these accounts gave the hackers access to sensitive patient medical records and social security information. Thankfully, that hospital did the right thing and contacted all affected patients. It's also recognized the need for more employee training on how to spot phishing scams. And this happened back in 2019 with Carly Foundation Hospital. So the way phishing works is they send you a fake website that looks like basically the same thing that you would normally click, or give you a link that treats you or acts like you're going to be signing into something that you already normally sign into. They hit you with like a deadline or try to make it seem extremely urgent so you can hurry up and sign in. And the next thing you know, they end up with your password or your information. So that's basically how that works. Now, threat number 2 is SMS-based phishing, which is smishing. Now, at a first glance, it may appear that SMS-based phishing falls under the general phishing category, but there are several key differences. So how does it work? The attacker sends an SMS text message to a user's phone. Opening the text message itself doesn't start the attack, but the message contains a link. If the link is clicked, it begins the attack. Why are more attackers turn to SMS-based phishing over traditional email phishing? Many email programs such as Google and Microsoft Outlook are smart enough to detect phishing emails and label them as spam. This means that the average email user doesn't even notice the phishing attacks, but they're always pushing to your spam folder. So what are the most common attacks? A message from your bank asking you to enter your social security number, a delivery carrier asking you to schedule a package delivery, other organizations asking you to click a link or give information. So what should your company do to protect itself against these SMS phishings? First, never open a link in a text message. Most banks and businesses do not ask for information via SMS. They call you or they mail you. Second, watch for misspellings or generic language. The email phishing smishing often contains generic language like dear customer, sir, or madam. And third, if you think the message is legitimate, call the business directly or go to your online account to give the information. This ensures no valuable data falls into the wrong hands. Number 3 is PDF scams. Similar to phishing, PDF scams have one goal in mind: to get you to open an attached PDF. They involve an email being sent with a message often stating a security policy has been updated or an account statement is attached. When you click the attached PDF, however, it exposes you to malware and ransomware on your computer. So what makes it so effective? Unlike many email scams, PDF scams often don't ask you to open a link or give information. It makes it easier for you to click it. PDF scammers know people are wary of emails asking them to click a link. However, people are not likely to more likely to open a PDF if they think it's a statement balance or a press release. So what should you do to keep your company safe? First, train your employees to watch for generic and unusual emails. For example, if someone gets bank statements through email, ensure the sender's email address is from the bank and not a generic address. Second, watch for unusual and generic headings. Instead of using your name, PDF scams often use generic terms like sir and madam. And third, make sure you have updated and secure virus protection on your computers and network. If someone happens to open a PDF scam, having security in place goes a long way in protecting your business and alerting your IT department. Number 4 is malware and ransomware. Now, we already discussed the devastating impact that malware and ransomware have when they affect the computer system. So this results in possible problems including lost data, frozen systems, hijacked software. Although not based on social interactions, straight-edge technology still views these attacks as highly prevalent in 2022, especially in small business. So why do they think that non-phishing attacks are here to stay? Hackers know every business keeps its data on servers connected to the internet, and all they need is one crack in your security, and they can perform the attack. So what can your company do to secure itself from malware and ransomware? First, make sure you keep all your computer software and hardware updated. Outdated software, drivers, and other plugins are common security vulnerabilities. If you have an IT service provider, check with them to make sure this is happening on your servers. Second, enable click-to-play plugins to keep Flash or Java from running unless you click a link. This reduces a risk of running malware programs with Flash or Java. And third, removing old software, sometimes referred to as legacy apps, reduces risk. For example, if your computer has Windows 10, but you run programs designed for Windows 7, these are considered legacy apps and may be a security risk. So your software company should be able to give you an updated program designed for Windows 10. The next one is database exposure. This is a security breach when it happens when it exposes databases information to hacking or theft. Some hackers use social engineering attacks to steal login credentials, and others use malware to gain access. Because most companies use servers to host customer information, we see this as a big concern in 2023 and beyond. Most companies' databases include customer contact information, financial records, or identity records such as social security numbers. So how can you protect yourself against this as a business? First, you have a private server. Keep the physical hardware in a secure and locked room. This helps prevent theft if your building is robbed, and it keeps unauthorized personnel from accessing it with a portable hard drive. Second, make sure you have a database firewall and a web application firewall. A locked door protects the physical server and hardware, and firewalls protect your server on the internet. Third, keep access to the server limited. Each person with the login to the server is a potential leak, so fewer logins the better. And fourth, encrypt the data on the server and keep a regular backup. Now this next one is called credential stuffing, and credential stuffing is an attack geared towards stealing user access through login credentials. This is most common in situations where the same login credentials are used for multiple sites and accounts. Alright, so I'll give you an example of when this happened. While investigating the incident, it became clear the Canadian Post was not to blame. Let's go why. Canadian Post, the postal operator in Canada, recently discovered some of their users' accounts information had been hacked in 2017 by credential stuffing. Although exact number of affected accounts was unknown, Canada Post immediately began resetting all their users' passwords. Instead, most of the accounts were accessed because customers used the same login credentials across multiple sites, with Canada Post being one of them. As a result, if a user's account was hacked on another website and the user had the same login credentials on Canada Post, the hackers could access the Canada Post account as well. So what should your company do to protect itself from credential stuffing? First, implement two-factor authentication for account logins. This requires an email or phone verification along with standard username and password. Second, use different passwords for every account and program your employees access. If one account is hacked, the hacker will not have access to more accounts with the same password. And third, never share passwords with other people. If you have a shared account for some reason, always give the password verbally, never through electronic communication. Now this last one is called accidental sharing. We've all seen it happen, and maybe it's happened to you. The dreaded reply all to an email when you only meant to reply to one or two people. Suddenly, everyone in the office knows your true feelings about the manager or boss. Accidental sharing is a similar problem. It occurs when information is shared or leaked accidentally. It is usually the result of human error, not because of malware or a hacker. Accidental sharing includes personal or business data and is shared through emails, unsecure forms, messaging, or social media platforms, and a host of other ways. Here's an example of when that happened. EA Games had an accidental sharing incident during the FIFA 20 Global Series online competition. When players registered for the event, they entered their sign-up information on the form in EA Games website. However, when new players went online and registered, the registration form was pre-filled with personal information of players who had already signed up for the competition. Obviously, the players were upset with the information being displayed. It was especially upsetting because it didn't appear that EA Games was hacked. The issue was an accidental sharing issue inside of EA Games and not a result of a cyber attack. When EA Games became aware of the issue, they shut down the registration for several days until the IT team fixed the problem. So what should you do to protect your business against this? First, limit the number of employees who have access to the data. The more people who have access to the information, the higher chance for human error in sharing the data. And second, implement user activity monitoring software. This allows you to track and discover if your data is in danger. It also provides solutions to prevent accidental sharing. And for our bonus, number 8, man in the middle attack. Do you remember playing monkey in the middle or keep away when you were a child? In these games, several children throw a ball back and forth, and then one of the two of the children who stand in the middle try to intercept the ball. The man in the middle security attack works in the same way. A hacker gains access to the line of communication and takes control of the communication by playing in the middle, also referred to as the machine in the middle or the monster in the middle attack. This attack works on a fairly basic principle. An attacker gains access to a line of communication. Some of the most common hacks occur through IP, DNS, or HTTPS spoofing. Email hijacking or Wi-Fi eavesdropping is also frequently used. When person A sends information to person B, the attacker is in the middle and intercepts the information. The attacker can then modify, steal, or use the information. Example, if person A sends a message that says, "My password is Acme1234, and the hacker in the middle immediately has the password, then the hacker can tell person B, "My password is Apple5678. Or the hacker can allow the original message to go through and simply steal the information. Because it appears from person A, the person B will think it's a legitimate message. So these security concerns are obvious. If someone thinks that they are talking to a person, website, or online program through a secure connection, then they are more likely to provide passwords, bank information, client data, social security numbers, and much more. So what should you do to protect yourself against this as a business? First, avoid Wi-Fi connections that are not secured. If you have employees working remotely, don't allow them to access sensitive company data over public Wi-Fi networks. Second, make sure your employees do not interact with websites that are not secure. If a URL is not a secure website, it will only show HTTP instead of HTTPS in front of the URL. The browser should also show an alert that the URL is not secured. If this happens, leave the site immediately. And third, make sure that your internet connections and internet devices are always updated with the latest security updates. Having outdated software, unsecured internet portals creates potential access points for MITM hackers. Now, I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this article. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you guys can check out this article on your own and read more about it. Also, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button on the channel. We'd like to see more of these videos and like to learn more about it. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment if you have any questions. All right, let's go.